Okay, now you can hear me. Yeah, I was just chatting a whole bunch and didn't realize that it was all muted. Cute, right? But we're back now, and you got my audio, so you can hear me. Yeah, I squeaked out a win this week, barely. I'll be honest with you, at halftime, I thought that you had me. I thought that you had me. Javon Williams looked to be wrecking it, and then they just swapped running backs. I don't know. I don't know why they put him away. Maybe because they, last minute and all with all their ACL injuries on their running backs, maybe they were testing the waters to see who else could make it. They kind of had their seal of approval on him, and they wanted to get the other guys some reps. He did get, I believe it was Javon Williams that got a screen pass late in the fourth or in the fourth, and it made me nervous. Um, yeah, that was a close one. That was a close one. I'll be honest with you. I'm afraid to rack up against you again. That I am. Jason gave me a run for my money, and not for nothing, Mr. Stikadinsky, his team last week and this week are going to look a lot different. So last week, whoever had him had a cakewalk. He, I think, under 100 points overall, and then he went heavy on the waiver, and yeah, a little bit of a funny story there. I hit him up this morning, swearing at him because I hadn't fully woken up yet, and the first thing that I did was jump into the ESPN Fantasy League. Um, and I thought that he got a guy that I was eyeballing. Of course, I saw that all of his transactions were at like 3:30 in the morning, so the mofo was up early, and he revamped his team, and I have to face him. You know what I mean? That's what I'm not digging. That's what I'm not digging. Now that he's got a team, like last week, I wish I would have seen him last week and then get it over with. And now that he's, you know, dug into the waiver wire and gathered a bunch. Now he's a threat. Now I have to play him. Whatever. Shit happens. Shit happens. But yeah, week one in the books. Waivers got hit by a couple of people really hard to kind of recover from week one. And yeah, who big winner this week? Eric, big winner. That's all right. When he sees 50-yard fumble the week he goes up against us, me, it's yeah, it's gonna be a fun week. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a really competitive league, guys. I really do. I think that there's gonna be tons of tight games, close games. I think that balanced. I think that there's a couple of people that have some strong teams out there. Don't get me wrong. Pretty early in the season, yeah, obviously. But I think that overall the teams are pretty well balanced and it's going to be competitive. Everybody's got a shot. Figured we'll give it a few more minutes here. And if nobody jumps in, then we'll call it. But I know you can now hear me because I see the. Well, I'll show you what I see. I see that right there, which tells me that when I talk, the boom mic thing goes up. So you guys can see me again. Haha. OBS Studio is awesome. If you're not using it, you should use it. You should be using OBS Studio. OBS Studio. It's amazing. Allows me to do this. I get these monitors and they all play a factor. Yeah, that's the studio. Studio. Uh huh. Oh, let's back that up so you can get a nice bright shot of it. But then the camera's too far away. This is what they're playing for. This be what we playing for. Well, $200 for first, 75 for second, and 25 for the leader of the consolation, the winner of the consolation bracket. And the fantasy league champion gets that trophy that we're looking at right now. It's an Invicta watch. I won it a while ago, and I wanted to put up some sort of a trophy for the league. So there's the trophy. Every time the winner looks at it, they're going to know that they won it and they earned it. Can't wait to get close but lose the watch. Well, here's the thing, man. You do have a good team. You do have a good team. You would have wrecked me. You would have wrecked me if Baltimore hadn't fallen ill, because I really think that that affected their entire game plan, their entire playbook, their offense. Like, when you don't have confidence, obviously, in the running backs because they're just picking people up off the street. You know, I didn't realize that they signed Le'Veon Bell onto the practice squad. He's going to swap right into the active roster. So I was busting somebody's chops last week, and they were just using foresight. And you know, not for nothing, Le'Veon Bell is an amazing running back. It was just the attitude and abrasion, chip on the shoulder, and I guess a lot of people didn't like dealing with him. Maybe he pulled an Antonio Brown. Maybe he's coming back around. You know, it does a lot to certain people once they get humbled. You know, and I feel like maybe he got humbled. But he's going to have another shot in Baltimore. Yeah, it totally killed you. If it wasn't for Gus, you would have wrecked me because they would have had their game. They would have been able to play their game plan. That's the best I can. They, you know, I guarantee before Gus went down, they had a game plan where he was going to get at least 25 touches. That would have done it for me. That would have You would have had me. But I think that they did all right considering. I'm surprised, but then the more I think about it, not really all that surprised. Javon Williams really showed that he's got what it takes, and they got their seal of approval. You know what I mean? Look at the results. And I think that they also wanted to go to the bench and see if there was anybody else that they could gain confidence from, um, putting him into game time situations. And I think that's the only reason that they pulled him, which still surprises me because in the NBA or NFL, yeah, the NBA too, but in the NFL, you're trying to win the game. And seeing I don't know. I don't know. Seeing Javon Williams do what he did, I never would have pulled him. It was just not winning strategy to pull him. They had to had another reason, whatever. Um, but it surprised me, and it saved my fantasy week. I will say this: I'm scared to death to face you again. I really am. Because the only thing I was able to pick up off the waiver this week was Christian Kirk, and I thought that I thought that Mr. Stikadinsky got them because I woke up this morning and the first thing I did is jump onto fantasy, and just like he called me on it because I texted him something vicious. Um, I thought that he sniped Christian Kirk because I'm looking at the transaction times. Dude was transacting at 3:30 this morning my time, so I'm like, holy shit, dude's like up, he's ready to go. And yeah, he fattened his roster, and I see all these transactions, and I didn't even recognize my own team name because I'm looking in the list and I see Christian Kirk, and I immediately just pull up the text and fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you son of a bitch, you know, blah blah blah. I'm going verbatim here. And then he told me maybe I should wake up, maybe I should get my eyes checked because I actually got Christian Kirk. See, what I did was I would put interested in on a bunch of players, and I forgot that I actually initiated the Christian Kirk. He's not the one that I would have, you know, chosen for. But it was weird the way I did it. But I was interested in everybody, but didn't pull the trigger on anyone. So when the waiver opened up, the one that I actually pulled the trigger on was Christian Kirk. So I got rid of Justin Fields for Christian Kirk because Justin Fields, through this year, unless Carson goes down, I think it's going to be a committee quarterbackship. So I don't see fantasy points heavy from him. So I let him go and picked up Christian Kirk because not for nothing, with a dude like Kyler Murray, you can never have too many Arizona wide receivers. He might get butt hurt with Fitzgerald. Something weird might happen with Fitzgerald, and I honestly think Christian Kirk is probably lined for WR1 if that happens. Right now, he's got to be a solid WR2. So I picked him up hoping because I need to bring depth, and I missed out completely on the running backs.